I went to Mexico for 2 weeks to visit him and to meet his family. Everyone asked me, okay, you're going alone as a woman to Mexico and you don't even know the family. What if they, I don't know, kidnap you?
What the
Or
fuck is wrong with
whatever
you?
can
Why are you going
happen.
there?
Even the people in the airport in the United States were checking the pass and everything. I need to tell him all the story, how we met, why I'm going alone and everything. He was sitting there. Okay, interesting.
Like a drama, yeah. They weren't just listening. Every time we crossed the border, it was like, "What are you doing here?" Yeah, we're going with my girlfriend that I met in the United States. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Tell me more. Like,
Every time.
Welcome to International Love Story, the podcast about intercultural relationships. My name is Christina, and in today's podcast episode, I would like to welcome Céline, who's from Germany, and Bruno, who's from Mexico. They met each other in the US, but this is a story they can tell much, much better than I could possibly do. And with this being said, let's give a warm welcome to Céline and to Bruno. Go ahead, introduce yourself, guys. Who are you? What are you doing? Tell us all about you.
Okay, I'm starting. I'm Céline, like you said. I'm from Germany. I just turned 30 years old this year. That's crazy. And yeah, currently I'm on parental leave. We just got a daughter like 6 months ago. So I'm enjoying the time with her at home. And hand over to Bruno.
and like she said, my name is Bruno. I'm 26 years old. I'm like from Mexico, like everyone said already. I've been living here in Germany since 5 years, around 5 years, and right now I'm also in parental leave for 1 month, so I can fix stuff around the house and in between have some time with a little girl.
Spending some quality family time, which is actually amazing that you have the possibility
Yeah.
now that you live in Germany to do so. But
Mm.
yeah, I'm sure this is going to be part of our recording today as well. Family life, being new parents. I'm quite curious. How are you doing? And yeah, I'm sure like life was turned upside down. But to start with your story, to start from the beginning, how did you guys meet? I mean, as I've mentioned in the little intro, you met in the US, but that's all I know. So I'm curious to learn more about that first.
Well, I'll put it this way. We got to know each other in a summer camp. For me, it was my second year in that camp, working as a camp counselor. The first year, I just enjoyed it that much, and my English improved dramatically. So I decided to go a second time, and I always loved the international culture that you got there because the first year for me was like a cultural shock. I didn't get the chance before to get to many people from outside of Mexico, just maybe from the United States. But when I was in that camp, I got to know people from New Zealand, from Germany, Australia, South Africa. So that inspired me to go a second time. And in that second time, it was when I got to know Celine.
Yeah. And for me, it was like, I think the last semester of my master studies, and I thought, okay, I want to go abroad. Let's see, what can I do? I didn't want to go for a year or something like au pair. And I found out about summer camps in the United States. I applied. I became a ranch counselor, so I taught kids how to ride, how to interact with horses, and yeah, other animals that we had on the farm. And yeah, then I met Bruno in the camp in Nashville, Tennessee,
Yeah.
and we worked there together for 3 months,
Okay,
around
4
about three
months.
months. Yeah, the last month we were
Yeah.
traveling for both of us. Yeah, and that's where everything started. And I would say summer camp is the big connection point for both of
Yeah.
us. We're still in love with the idea of summer camps and still talking about,
As if it was yesterday,
yeah,
basically.
another
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Uh-huh. What? Fuck. Okay, yeah, true. Yeah.
So that was in 2019, if you say it
Oh,
was
yeah.
6 years ago.
Mm.
And again, a lot has happened over the past few years. And I like that, yeah, if you think about how you met, that it still feels like it was recently. So obviously, a lot happened during the time you met. I'm curious, would you like to share a little bit more, like your first encounter? What were your thoughts? Did it make click, or was it more like friendship? How did it feel like?
So for me, my goal was either I was going kind of not say with a heartbroken. I'm a drama queen, so before this summer started, I wasn't really like I don't know, they're gonna break your heart again, or maybe not, whatever. And I was just going with the idea to meet my friends that I met last year because not all of them went back, but a few went back. So for me, it was like going back with my friends. Then I got to know some people from Ranch because I think they started a week before I did. They have like we have like 3 weeks of training. The first week is for Ranch, then the second week is for all the counselors, and the third week, for example, for me was as a lifeguard. So in these 2 weeks where there's no kids around, we actually got a time. We got a lot of time to spend with all the rest of the counselors from different areas because once the summer started, I mean, yeah, you see each other, but you don't see that often. So the first encounter for me was cute, but also weird because when she told me that she was 23, about to be 24, I couldn't believe it. For me, she was looking like a teenager, or she got like just like a baby face. I thought I was older than her in that time, but no. And it was hard to communicate because in that time our accents they were totally different, or we just got a lot of issues to understand each other's English. That happened with all the others. I think the Scottish people were the worst, but for us, yeah, it was hard enough to understand us. So it was just like the little chit chat, just get to know where you're from, what you're doing, and something that impact or I found it fascinating for that time. It was as she told me that she was 23 and she was already doing her master. So that was in studies saying I thought she was kind of like a genius because I said, hey, for me it's not normal to know people who starts the master that young. Is you do it normally later in life. So I thought, whoa, I don't know. Wow, she must be very, very smart. What if she thinks you're stupid? Everything you say, and it is because at this point she's still thinking sometimes I'm very stupid. But yeah, I just found her fascinating and weird. I must say, at the beginning, I found you kind of weird
Thank you.
because I don't
Testing
know.
it now after
No,
6 years.
it was not only because of you. It was all the ranch people. I personally didn't enjoy the ranch environment. I don't like horses or anything like that. So it was like not like love hating, but it was like I feel disgusting that that you smell like horse poop, but still I find you attractive. I don't know, kind of like a weird mix. So I would say the first one who made a contact it was me. It was definitely me because someone here is very shy for it, and we started all going out together. Like since most of the counselors were international, for us was like a tourist idea to go. I don't know, to the mall or to go to a rodeo or like a disco or
Baseball game.
yeah, stuff like that. And those were the chances to go out with Celine on the first part. My friends weren't happy about it because the idea was, like I say, to spend time with the friends and everything. But slowly, I started paying more attention to Celine, and yeah, I think since I had no money at all in that time, the first time I asked her out, and I say asked her out because we basically didn't go out of camp. I just took my laptop with me. We went to one of the buildings that was empty, and I played one of the Harry Potter's movies because in that she's a Harry Potter's fan. I like them. I don't love them, but I said I love them because I wanted to spend time with her. So we just spent like one night watching one of those movies. But also in that time, yeah, it was complicated at the beginning. At the beginning, I must say, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of your
And
thick accents you had, the communication wise was difficult, and also the whole setting, or what was complicated exactly?
I will say that we have a complete drama story because in that time, Selena also got a boyfriend back in Germany. And it was nothing that we actually planned or nothing that we are proud of. After that meeting or after that kind of date that we have when we watched the Harry Potter movie, she went clear again with me and say, "Hey, I have a boyfriend." Like kind of saying, "Stop it, leave it." And I thought, "Fuck, okay, whatever." Yeah, that's true. I mean, that is not the best thing to do, but I wasn't even thinking about it. So we just hugged, and we even cried at that time. I remember that much because it was for me it was like fireworks. Actually, it felt like fuck, I win. Yeah, that was the reaction because she told me I just like you way more than I should, and for me it wasn't really like a win. Like why do you tell me this? Like, you're just making me feel more attracted to you somehow. So we hugged, we cried, and then we say, okay, everything fine. Let us just leave it like that. Like, yeah, not even friends, like co-workers or whatever. We didn't do it alone
Mhm.
because no, we just couldn't. I mean, I couldn't. We couldn't help each other just to try to be closer. And later on, we exchanged numbers. We still going out with all the other counselors together. But then in one disco or say floor dance place where we were together,
Line dance.
line dance. Yeah, true.
Nashville.
Yeah, like a cowboy dance. I don't know how to explain it better. Um, yeah, we were all the two counselors were there, and I took my time to dance a little bit with Celine because I had a little bit of experience from my previous year. So I thought, okay, you know what, fuck it, it's now or never. So I think in that point it was when I actually kissed her on the lips for the first time. I think so. I don't remember exactly. And I could see all the other counselors behind her doing this big go that in our camp was like the maximum sign of respect, like whoa, because I conquered I conquered a German girl who got a boyfriend. So I became kind of like, yeah, known in that place, or everyone knew in that point that we got something going on together. Yeah. Or do you want to add something to that part?
No. No, just that in the beginning was not my intention at all to go there and find or meet someone else from another country, or come back with another boyfriend, I would say. But yeah, like Bruno described, it just happened. And maybe it was also because you're spending a super intense time this 12 weeks in camp together every day, with a lot of emotions, with the counselors, with the kids, with the heat in between, because Nashville in summer is super hot. Um, yeah, so that was not the intention at all. So neither one of us were looking for something like this to happen. But yeah, I mean, now we're sitting here 6 years later. Um, and I think, like you said, we started with a little drama. It was also complicated in camp that we needed to keep the relation
Professional.
professional, kind of a secret, because we still need to be professional working with the kids and the parents, so that we couldn't show any affection. Yes, the other counselors knew that we were together, but in front of the kids, of course, the kids were always on the first place.
And they were the reason why we were there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So we need to put our full attention into them. And I think it's also something that our bosses told us
several times.
Yeah.
Not to only both of us, in general, to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we know how summer is. We know how. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that's also one of the struggles from this summer.
So you were mentioning, Bruno, in your words, you are a drama queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the goodbye was quite emotional, and you had a moment when spending some quality time together. Eventually, you had to say goodbye because eventually your path would split again. I'm not sure if you went to Mexico or if you stayed in the US, but in Celine, eventually you flew back home to your still boyfriend or not boyfriend anymore. So I'm like, how did it go for you guys?
For me, it was like 3 weeks after camp that I went traveling around the US. Like the first week actually was with my ex-boyfriend that I met there, and then I broke up. So I have to say that was then already over. The second week I spent with friends who were also working in another summer camp on the West Coast in the United States, in the last week in New York City with other friends. And there was like a little surprise from Bruno in the second week, that he took together all the money that he could earn until that moment just to fly from Nashville to San Francisco. I mean, it's obviously on different sides of the United States, just to surprise me in San Francisco, where I have been just like for 2 days. So in the end, we met there for not even 24 hours in San Francisco. So we can see us again before leaving both in our countries. Like I say, we didn't know what will happen, how it will be, what's going on. And I would say emotionally it was a hard time for both of us. We wanted to be together, but it was still complicated with the different countries. I think in the beginning we didn't thought that much about the
No.
difference of the culture or anything.
Oh.
I mean, 12 weeks we were together like every day. We saw us every day. So that was the first time actually it was getting in with
Distant.
this, yeah, this in with the culture. And yeah, after these 3 weeks traveling, I flew back to Germany and went on with my studies. And you?
For me, from the very beginning, it was like a sour, sweet taste. Because even though I loved camp from the very beginning, I knew it will come from to an end eventually. Then it was even more intense because I knew that this will start, and I didn't know how it will end or where will it end. I remember that one of my friends, Jared, asked me, "So, what are you gonna do?" I mean, she's from Germany, and yeah, you are Taco, Mexico, Tequila, so it's too far away from each other. And I told him, I don't know, I'll have to move to Germany. But in the time you say, like, yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna buy a Tesla. So like something that's not gonna happen. Just thinking about it. So I was trying to enjoy it and the weeks with her. I cried a couple of times, I think alone, and other times in front of other campers, never in front of the kids. It was close to, but it was hard because I thought a year before it hurt me a lot to get away from friends that I just made, and I knew that it would be impossible to have all of them together at one place. I thought, okay, this is gonna be even more worse because I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I don't have a scenery. I don't. Yeah, in that point, I didn't even know what it was. What was I doing with my life? Because my idea was after camp, I wanted to go to study to France. I wanted to do a bachelor there, but the only reason why I wanted to go there was because, yeah, I thought I needed to go away from my family, from Mexico. I needed to know something new because the 4 months being alone taught me a lot. Like I could live by myself. I just need to find out the way. Unfortunately, that plan didn't work because I messed up with my parents. I mean, I told them I was going to the university. It's still in Mexico when I wasn't going at all. I was working in the mornings in a photograph studio and in the nights as an English teacher, but didn't work. So I was very confused or totally confused with my life. I was feeling like there was no direction where to go, and now there was just another possibility added to it that it was Celine. So it was weird and hard. I remember when I went with her to the airport was one of the saddest moments I experienced because it was one of the first times I actually felt alone again. Normally after camp, after the 3 months where the kids are there, there's a 4 month where they have some team building activities where I don't know some companies go there and make some team building overnight camps or family camps so you can work extra there if you want to. It is one of the emptiest moments that you have when you're on a stage where it used to be full with and crowded with people, and there you're just the only one eating there. That's how I felt exactly when she left. Even though I was surrounded by other counselors, it was like it is pointless to be here, but it's also pointless to go back to Mexico. So it was it wasn't a beautiful place. It was a dark moment, but also I used that time to start learning German in my free times when I didn't have to work as a lifeguard. So say, fuck it, let's work on the German abilities. Maybe there's a possibility to go there. Um, yeah. So when I went back to Mexico, I went. No, wait.
Also long
Before
time ago.
first, yeah. Then first, I went to visit Celine in San Francisco, and I loved it because I was just in a hurry, thinking, okay, I have to visit her somewhere. And one of my friends just moved to San Francisco. Say, hey, whenever you want, I can receive you here. Say, oh yeah, cool. Friday, I'm there. And he said, well, I mean, yeah, I can receive you, but not right now. We just moved into a new apartment. But I already booked the flight. So I flew in the morning, like 4 in the morning to from Nashville to San Francisco. I arrived there around 11 with one stop. And then Celine called me to say that she's also going to San Francisco, but 10 in the night, not in the morning. I thought she would be there in the morning. She was there in the night. And I said, okay, I'm going to wait here 12 hours in the airport. I have nowhere else to go. So I waited in the airport. I was looking for an Airbnb because I don't want to bother the whole plan. I just want to see her. And I looked for an Airbnb, but then I realized that it was way too far away from where she will stay. So I canceled that one and I booked another one. But then I saw that the new one I booked, it was just for girls. So Airbnb thought I was doing something weird. So they blocked my account permanently.
For the next 5 years.
Uh-huh. And then when she arrives, I say, okay, you know what, fuck it. I say hi, and then I stay and I sleep here in the in the airport, whatever. I don't know. That didn't happen. I mean, she booked a different hotel room from where she was staying, and yeah, we spent like the night together until the next day around 3 in the afternoon, because at 5 my flight was going. I was making San Francisco, Denver, and Nashville. So I flew to Denver, and when I was in Denver, I was looking for my gate because I was already kind of late. We have a delay in the first airport. I arrived and I see that everything is closed. And I ask, hey, what's going on? My plane is going. No, sir, your plane is going tomorrow at 7 in the in the afternoon, in the evening. No, that's not true, right? So yeah, they say, yeah, that's how you bought it. That's why was it so cheap in the first place. So when she texted me later, hey, did you arrive already in Nashville? I said, yeah, kind of. I'm halfway there. So I spent the night there. The rest of the day, I just had like $5 in my wallet because I used the rest for the trip. And I ate a half Subway and maybe a cigarette or two that another person gave me, because we spent like 2 hours talking. Then I flew back and I started planning to go to Germany. And the easiest option was to go as like an au pair.
Mhm.
And thank God I got like a family kind of quick. But it was also hard because visas, German, how to say, the certificate, the language certificate. It was new for me. I mean, yes, I was practicing German, but I have no idea how to learn German by myself. So I was just trying. Luckily, I got everything. In between, I got another job where I got some money to pay for my flight, for my visa, and then I flew to Germany in February 2020, exactly 2 weeks before the lockdown started.
First lockdown.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering because it seems like you guys fell in love head over heels. I think that's the
Mhm.
English expression for it. And then Bruno, you kind of spontaneously, just in a few weeks, decided to move to Germany, and it worked out. It worked out in a way that you found the place to stay, that you got the visa because you were working as an au pair, if I understand correctly, and that 2 weeks before the pandemic hit. I'm wondering, like, Celine, how was it for you? Because it's very fast moving, if I may say so. And that's actually
Yeah.
something that's happening, especially when dating someone from a different country, because you have to make it work somehow. And paperwork is often a topic that you have to consider, and oftentimes also one way or the other, one part eventually has to move for the other part. But you did it in only just a few months. So I'm wondering, how did you feel as the person who is receiving Bruno?
Mhm. We forgot to mention,
Yeah.
like in between
forgot.
this time, I mean, between United States and Bruno moving here, I went to Mexico for 2 weeks to visit him and to meet his family. Um, Everyone asked me, okay, you're going alone as a woman to Mexico and you don't even know the family. What if they, I don't know, kidnap you?
What the
Or
fuck is wrong with
whatever
you? Why
can
are you going
happen.
there?
Even the people in the airport in the United States were checking the pass and everything. I need to tell him all the
Oh, there's
story,
a
how we
story.
met, why I'm going alone and everything. He was sitting there. Okay, interesting.
Like a drama, yeah. They weren't
Yeah.
just listening. Every time we crossed the border, it was like, "What are you doing here?" Yeah, we're going with my girlfriend that I met in the United States. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Tell me more. Like,
Every time.
uh-huh.
And I think these 2 weeks also helped us to come out of this summer camp time, noticing it was not just a summer romance, it's more feelings than just like this 12 weeks staying together. And this time in Mexico for me was actually realizing that we have cultural differences.
Okay.
I mean, before I didn't thought, I don't know what's for you, but I didn't thought that much about it. We could understand each other after a while. in English. And I also told Bruno, okay, if there's no chance for you moving to Germany, I can also imagine coming somehow to Mexico. So yeah, I think Bruno was even faster and more spontaneous in it.
Mm.
But I think for a German person, I also had a lot of flexibility and spontaneity.
Spontaneously, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
you could be spontaneous as
yeah.
well.
Okay. So in that time for me was just like, okay, let's get the process quick so we can
Mm.
see each other again soon.
Mm.
Because for me it was the hardest part, not knowing when it will be possible to see us again. I think I came back mid-November 2019.
You came from the 1st of November to the
Mm,
15th or something.
yeah.
I remember that because it was El Día de los Muertos, Day of the Dead in Mexico. So I took her to a museum where she could see a little bit of that part of the
Mhm.
culture. My uncle, rest in peace, took us to a tour around the downtown, told us a lot about the history from my own,
Mhm.
on my own downtown, and we took like a quick vacations to Cancun
Mhm.
together as well for my birthday. And yeah, afterwards she went back to Germany.
And I mean, we were separated for just
3 months.
2.5 to 3 months, but it felt super
It
long
was
and
hard.
exhaustive,
Mm.
waiting for an answer from the government, waiting for a family, for an au pair. And yeah, I think it was a super emotional time.
It was hard because when I was waking up, she was not going directly to bed,
Mhm.
but it was, yeah, kind of already done with the day.
Mhm.
Or let us put it this way: for her, well, for everyone, should be the text. It was very important, but for me, it was like, no. I mean, I prefer to be the chat, honestly. And text, I nowadays I still forget to answer. Or I don't put the same effort she used to put into texting. And in the last month that I was there, I honestly was feeling a little bit overwhelmed for the whole situation. I was trying to kind of enjoy the last things I would do with my family, because even though the idea was just to go there for 1 year, I mean, the idea was just to do the upper year, but still, I mean, we are too emotional, or we say a lot of goodbyes. So, for example, New Year's Eve was very emotional with my family. Christmas was also very emotional. Spontaneously, some cousins and I took a trip with my uncle, the brother from my mom, and I didn't know that it would be the last trip we will make together, because in the year I came here, he passed away. So I was trying to enjoy, like I say, the most I could, but also I was feeling like the responsibility to maybe in the middle of the night to answer her because she's waking up, or in the middle of the day, even if I'm with friends, I have to go to be a child. So it was a little bit conflict for me. I was honestly also even feeling annoyed because I cannot enjoy my time here, and when I'm gonna be there, I'm not gonna enjoy my time neither, because it's also a lot of things to learn. I mean, the language is no easy; it's hard as hell to learn.
Mm.
So it was overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the in between we talk about, like
Mm.
knowing that you're going to leave your home soon, that you're going to build a new home eventually in another country, and that's just a lot of emotional, yeah, it takes an emotional toll on you, definitely, especially if you know, like, it's gonna take a few months until you see your family again. And what I find very interesting as well in your love story, Bruno, that you were the one, as the male, moving to another country in order to close the distance. Because I'm not gonna lie, 98% of the podcast episodes I'm recording, it's the other way around. So usually the woman is moving for the man. So it's very interesting to see it from a different perspective now, because it just feels like you definitely took a leap of faith in just a matter of a few months. You sorted it out, you figured it out somehow, because you knew that you want to be with this person. And obviously, that's something, everyone who closed the distance or who's working on closing the distance, can resonate with. So the feeling you're just describing of like feeling in between, enjoying time with your family, knowing, hey, a lot of quality time from now on, because I don't know when I'm going to see them
Mhm.
again. Also, I'm so sorry for your loss, that you had to, yeah, say goodbye to your uncle, and eventually you weren't able to see him again once you went back to Mexico. And that's one of the biggest fears. Like I'm talking about that quite often as well on social media, like this in betweenish, like not knowing where do I belong,
No,
what to
no, it
call
is have
home, all the emotions, all the thoughts. And that's definitely, again, very interesting to see it or to hear it from your perspective right now, because no matter if male or female, we're all going through the same. So I'm so grateful that you're sharing your experience when it comes to this as well, that you're quite open-minded about what a toll it took on you. Um, and yeah, you made the step, you closed the distance just before COVID. So guide me through how your life changed from there on.
the even though the gap or the distance was closer, it wasn't still like let's say 1 hour away from each other. I was living in Kiel, so it's North Germany, and we're right now like in the middle of Germany. So with a train, you would say you can do like around 4 hours, but whoever knows Deutsche Bahn or the German trains will know that that's not gonna happen. So in reality, it was always like 6 hours, something more, to visit each other, and that wasn't every day, of course, or every not even every weekend. For me, it was weird because I got to live with a family of 3 kids, which two of them got autism. And at the beginning, I say, yeah, I can deal with it because I have dealt before with kids with different abilities, or how can you call it? I don't
Conditions.
conditions. And I thought it wouldn't be an issue at all. I was wrong. I must say I was wrong because it is a spectrum I used to know nothing about. And honestly, now if I say that I know 10% of it, it's a lot. Plus the language, plus the
Corona.
corona was the hardest thing because I started living in Germany, and also honestly from 2021 and afterwards, because the whole 2020 everything was closed. I didn't get to know anything from the culture. I didn't get to make any friends. I didn't get to learn the language. I didn't get to know any locations, or very few locations. So it was, I just arrived from my home country to a new country to be close in this house full of strangers and try to live like a kind of normal life from an au pair. This family in between also got their own family issues. The parents got separated while I was there, so it was also a little bit, not, I won't say drama, but normal family issues that happen
And affected you.
and that affect me totally, because once the dad left, I need to take bigger responsibility from the house, from the kids, and it was just overall confusing. I didn't. I thought I was doing like a mistake. I used to talk with my dad a lot, saying like I can't anymore. It's just too much. I see her once or twice a month, and honestly, every time we left, it hurts to leave wherever we are together. To know that I'm gonna go back, and I don't know when I'm gonna see her again. The language, I'm making very few progress. The mom, Katya, we're still being friends though, actually. She paid like a private teacher to come to visit me at least once a week, so I could learn something in between. I didn't, yeah, because I was just living to educate the kids. It was the time with homeschooling, so I had to teach kids, which luckily they could speak English because they used to have au pairs before me. So, and they were good in English as well. So that was how we were communicating. That also didn't help to my German learning
Mm.
in that way, but it was. I mean, in that time I needed it. But I was helping two kids with this with the homework that I didn't know how to do it because they used a different system, or yeah, I didn't know how to do it. I was also taking them to their sports activities. I was trying to get my own sports activity. Um, I was doing extra housekeeping in the house to get another extra €100 a month, because au pair paying in Germany, I don't know how it's to these days, it is the bare minimum. Yeah, the family is paying your food. Yeah, they're paying your health insurance, but with €260 a month, you can barely do something. And more in Corona times, in COVID times,
Mm.
I couldn't do nothing.
Mhm.
So yeah, I took all my frustration out in a piano that the family got there. So I kind of taught myself how to play one or two songs just because I needed to burn some energy somehow. And the breaking point was around September when I decided to leave the family. because the whole family or the parents getting separated was too much for me. And I say I prefer to live now and still being like friends with them, and that I don't know, one point just snapping and saying, okay, all of you can go to f yourselves or whatever. So I left to a family that it was in Brunswick. That is, it was definitely closer to Celine, and it was just two girls. One was 3 years, and the other one was 5. But that family was way worse, I must say. We didn't understand each other. They were expecting things from me that they were not my responsibility, I must say. And yeah, it was overall even worse. I was even feeling more lonely. I started smoking even more in that time, which it was something I didn't want to do. But yeah, it was the only pleasure I could see, because they weren't even paying for my German course. They said it was already included in what they were paying me, between the housekeeping. They never liked how I worked. They say I was putting all my frustrations in the girls, which was the total opposite. When I was alone with the girls, everything was fine. We were all friends. I could put them, both of them, to bed. Even sometimes the oldest one was asking me if I could cuddle her to bed. I say, sweetheart, I mean, just you like that, but no, no more. But once the mom or dad arrived, Bruno was the worst guy. They didn't want to see me. They wanted to be with me, or they start screaming. The mom starts screaming. It was just chaotic. So I needed to go out of there as well, because no, it was just bad. And also in that time, it was when this uncle I mentioned, it got worse. Also because of other diseases, because of COVID, and then yeah, he passed away in October. And this family was saying that I was putting, like I say, all my frustrations in the girls, and I felt so offended for that, because if there's something I always try to do, I think even though this stays, is to give myself, give the better from me to the kids. And hearing that was like the worst insult. So I say, you know what? If you don't like what I'm doing here, even though I'm trying to read a book for your girls in a German, in a language I don't know, okay, then try to do it yourself. And I left after giving my 2 weeks notice. I didn't know where to go, but luckily, Celine, in that time here, was riding again with horses and working with horses. And this lady with the horses and her husband, I asked them, "Hey, can we please make an offer contract? I mean, I will live with Celine, but I will come to take care of your kids. They have 2 kids at the time, Ida and Max. They were 5 and 8. So say please, because I just can't. I mean, I was considering to go back to Mexico because this family was just too hard. They also, once in the birthday from one of the girls, she yelled to Celine, and I say, okay, to me, tell me whatever you want, but why are you yelling to her? So luckily, this family say yes to the contract, so I officially made a contract with them, and I moved here from, I would say, December to February. Something we forgot to mention in between, it was that between all of this chaos, I don't know why I got the amazing idea to propose to Celine. For me, it was simple math. Okay, if you already flew that far away for this girl, do you seriously think it's just because you want one night stand in Germany? And I say, no. I mean, no. I mean, you can you can get sex easily in other ways. So say, yeah. I mean, if I'm here already and I move here, I'm learning her language, I'm learning her culture. I think she's the Jane from my Tarzan, so to say. Yeah, yeah. And I proposed to her on her birthday, exactly in this room where we are actually. I played a couple of songs with my speaker and my guitar, and in the last song, I just kneeled and proposed. It didn't go as planned because she already knew that I would do that somehow,
Yeah,
which,
this reads
which actually I thought, I know it's supposed to be a surprise, but she said, yeah, I already know. And then in February, I'll say in that before my visa expired,
2020.
2021, February 2021, we decided to get married. Not in the way that we would like to, but in the way that it was possible.
And in a way that's actually fitting to the rest of our chaotic love story.
Yeah.
Because there was still Corona. And
Mm.
I mean, the complete year before, like Bruno mentioned, was chaotic in an emotional way. Then we could figure out that Bruno can stay here, close to me. A couple of times before, I told him, hey, if you want to go back to Mexico, I'm not mad with you. I can understand it.
Mm.
go back and we could try to figure out something else. For me, it's maybe easier to go there. The corona restrictions are not that high like here in Germany. Yeah, but since he stayed the whole time, and I think your visa expired in the end of February 2021.
Mhm.
Um, we tried to find a way how to get married that it makes it easy, because marrying in Germany, someone from another country, is not as easy as it sounds.
No.
You need a lot of paperwork. Mexico is not the fastest country with paperwork.
Neither.
Germany is much faster, but too much restrictions. So in the end, we went to Denmark and get married there. But the trip to Denmark was
Also.
also a lot of things we needed to plan. Like there was still Corona. We were not allowed to stay in Denmark. We were not even allowed to drive into Denmark. So we went to our friends in Kiel. We got the car from them.
No,
So we
wait.
had the
First, from here, we traveled with her car to her sister's,
so yeah.
so we could take her sister's car because it was heavier and better for the highway.
Mhm.
And then from there, we went to Kiel to get the car with the Kiel
Car
car plates
to
to be
enter.
able to enter to Denmark. So it was here, sister, Kiel, then Denmark.
One day trip.
What? Yeah, at 4 in the morning we started or something.
One day trip to Copenhagen. We
Uh-huh.
got married. No, we changed ourselves into a dress and
Yeah,
a suit and
in a parking spot.
in a parking spot. We
Yeah.
went to the how you call it?
I don't know, the government's office.
Yeah,
That
government
house.
office. We have been there for 5 minutes, maybe. We were married, and then we left again. We were maybe 1 hour in Copenhagen, in the city, and then we got back to the car and we left to go back home or back to Kiel to give the car back. So it was just getting married and a 1 day trip to Copenhagen and coming back. In between, we also booked accommodation in Sweden, because
We
we
had
were
it, so
just
true,
allowed
true,
to
true, true.
travel through Denmark if we have a rental in Sweden. So that was also something we need to pay, but we've never been there.
No.
So we can back.
Can we please say that your love story is definitely the most chaotic love story I've had so far in my podcast? I mean, it is just like, everything, but I just love how easy
Yeah,
going, I guess,
yeah,
because now you're just like, oh, we've been through so much. Whatever comes will just come. We will just deal with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
yeah. That's what we said. So, okay, it was a lot of things we need to plan, but in the end, it's fitting to our story how
From
we
the
get to know
beginning,
each
from the
other.
beginning,
It
it
was
was, yeah.
also quite chaotic. And yeah, in 2021, I finished my university. I also got into a job. In autumn 2021, we married, or we celebrated our marriage finally with some friends, family, mostly from Germany, but also Nono's mom, grandma, aunt, and sister came for the wedding. That was quite nice actually to have at least some Mexican family there. I think in that year we have also been in Mexico together.
We went in Mexico, yeah, because that's where I hurt my knee before the wedding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's about different. Yes. What did you try with working in that time?
I couldn't work in that time. I mean, we because it was a change of visas from au pair to like a resident, so it was also like another process. I needed to prove that I could speak at least B1 German level. We needed to wait to get myself like Meldebescheinigung. How do you say that in English? I don't know.
Registration papers, basically.
From where you live.
Meldebescheinigung, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I needed to register where I was living. I needed to register that I was living here now, and all of that took also a while. So I thought, okay, now I'm here, but I need to find a job. And for this point, I already finished my bachelor degree because when I left Mexico, I just did 3 semesters there. But then I used those semesters to continue in an online bachelor in business management. So at least I will have something to hold on to. Didn't work in the way neither because I just got my bachelor's degree like what 1 year ago, or half a year ago, And so I was just open to work whatever. I mean, if I needed to work in the construction, fuck it, I will work in the construction. If I needed to be, I don't know, a night stripper in Savoy or something, I will do it. I mean, I say, okay, you know what? Give me everything. I don't mind. Let me be a clown in the traffic lights. Let me start selling bubble. Let me walk dogs. And but yeah, and I tried. At the end, I got a place to work in Reve. Oh, baby's sleeping. That's awake.
I'm
Okay.
sure.
In the end, I actually got to work in Reve. That is kind of like a Walmart, just unpacking food, just unpacking and restocking everything. So,
I think I need to go to the baby.
she's
Why not?
is that okay? She's just going
Yeah,
to
of
yeah, okay.
course. Of course, of
Um,
course.
and so yeah, we got the wedding. It was not like a not totally official church wedding, but we celebrated with one friend of Celine who was working to be a pastor. So she made the whole ceremony quite beautiful. That was the first time I was nervous about everything, even though we were already married. In Denmark, I wasn't nervous at all. I was like, yeah, fuck, why not? But this time, when I knew that my family was here, at least my mom, sister, grandma, and aunt, it was like, shit, this is real. Oh, this is happening. Am I ready to do these steps? I don't know. I'm 22. Eh, we'll find out. So, yeah. Afterwards, like I say, I got to work in Reve for a short time, and then I got to work in a trampoline park, which is the place I'm still at the moment. But also in between, I was trying to apply to universities to study as well, of course, because like I say, my business, my how to say, my business management bachelor didn't. It took a longer time than expected to arrive, so it was hard in that part to get a place to study as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of things you had to handle over the past few years. I mean, the one thing is
Hmm.
the paperwork. The other thing is like from one family to the other when you did au pair, like, trying to find your place, trying to make it work, learning a new language. The German culture is still different to
Yeah.
how you grew up, to the Mexican culture. So I totally understand that some things like you have to set priorities, and obviously you have to earn money somehow as well to
Mm.
provide for your life, especially right now that you have, and this is why Celine had to leave the conversation for a little bit. Now that you have a little one
Mm.
that's only 6 months old, there's a lot to take into consideration, and you're
Yeah.
still figuring things out along the way, which is
Mm.
part of your love story. I mean, we've already pinpointed that your love story is definitely a little bit more chaotic, but I'm wondering, for everyone who's listening and watching right now, what advice do you have if you feel like there's someone listening or watching that
Mhm.
feels like my life is quite chaotic right now? I don't know what the next steps are in the relationship. Maybe we're closing the distance soon as well. Like, what would it be? What have you learned over the past few years?
My advice in that way would be okay, let's put it this way. Right now, I don't know what's going to happen with me or what am I going to do because, like I say, I'm applying to more studies. But also in the past, I didn't know what to do. And before knowing Celine, I didn't know what to do. So I don't think you will ever actually know what's going to happen. You can plan whatever you want, but just know that you have a very little control on that and try to live with the moment. I think is the most important thing for me or the thing I learned. Like, it is very hard to know what will happen. There's not like there's not a prophecy written. There's no way that you will know, okay, maybe in 10 years I'm gonna be here. What do I have to do to get to that point? Is grading here step by step. No, you always will be in a point of uncertainty. So don't let down, get yourself over stressful. Just learn to live with it. Because like I said, it was never my goal to come to Germany. And I think from that I got to be a better person from it, but it will never change. I mean, I can just say that just be relaxed, give it time. Don't try to pressure anything because the more you pressure it or the more you try to go through a path that is clearly saying don't go that way, it's just gonna hurt the most. And don't regret the decisions you take because sometimes we like to look back in time and say, "Oh, if I would have done this differently, my life will be better in this way." Maybe in that time you took that decision because you thought it was the best. So I mean, just live with responsibility from your actions and learn from them. I mean, I would like like in that example, I would have liked to start being a teaching, started to be a teacher earlier than I'm now, because now with 26, I feel kind of old to start a bachelor's degree in this way. But no, it's not true. I mean, honestly, everything had to work in the way that it was to make this chance possible now. And even if it doesn't work, I mean, there's other ways I can find out to make my life easier, but it's gonna always be chaotic. We have zero control on that.
Yeah, and again, in your case, I mean, you had to relearn a lot of things that
Uh-huh.
for someone who's living in Germany as a German, they are quite obvious because they know how the system is running, and
Hmm.
you had to learn that. So it's not like you wake up one day and you're fluent in German. So
No.
that's a lot to take into consideration as well. I'm also wondering, because you've been, or you both mentioned that there were some times, some moments where you were thinking, Bruno, of
Hmm.
going back to Mexico, like
Hmm.
moving back to Mexico. What did stop you not to go back?
That is a very interesting question. There was literally nothing stopping me. Um, Let me put it this way, and she knows that already. Not, I'm not saying that because she's not here. She knows that. If I would have stayed in Mexico, my life would have been way different. Yeah, but also will be professionally better. I was a very good student in my university. My next internship was supposed to be at BMW, at BMW, and from there open a path to make a career. I traded that, and I also traded my job that I had before coming to Germany, where I had also the chance to become in a finance department. I traded all that for a trampoline and for a couple of backflips with a lot of kids. Why didn't I go back? Because I didn't like what I saw there. I mean, not that Mexico is the worst place to live, it's not. But a lot of days I wish I could just jump from Germany to Mexico just to say hi, to hug my grandparents, to hug my sister, maybe spend some time with my brother. But those feelings is something I learned to live with, because I know that at least for now, what we need, or the benefits we can get from living in Germany are better than the ones living in Mexico. The example right now will be the baby that Celine is in this parental leave for 1 year. That wouldn't be possible in Mexico. I think it's there 40 days before the due date and 40 days after the due date. Nothing compared to a complete year where you can actually watch your kid grow, or also that I can take this month and spend the time with them. It's the third time I do it, and it's going to be a fourth time in December. In that way, that's why we're starting here now. Before it was because I thought, okay, I'm the one who's investing the time into learn the language, not because Celine doesn't want to. She has had a lot of Spanish teachers, and she has tried to learn the language. But I mean, honestly, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I cannot blame her if she doesn't speak Spanish fluently now. So I say, if I'm the one who already make the struggle to learn the language, to get the driver's license here, to get the citizenship, because afterwards I also get a citizenship as well, if all this struggle is done here, at least let us build something that we can come back in case that we fly to Mexico, to Portugal, to wherever we fly, and it doesn't work. At least that we have a place to come back, where we know that at least it's gonna be everything, yeah, chaotic in the way we know, but something that is a little bit more stable. So
Mm.
it was basically that, seeing that I already suffered the time here, I already cried here, and then that we are better here for now, that I decide, okay, it's not worth it to go back to Mexico right now.
Mm. And this is a question I would have liked to ask the both of you, but maybe Celine is going to be back now. I mean, I've mentioned in the beginning that your life was turned upside down, and I understand that you are working very hard to build a life in Germany, to build a life together, to build a life for your family, for your 6-month-old baby. I'm wondering, how were your past few months? How did you experience them with the baby, with the third person?
It was that was another point of conflict that we never spoke of. From I'm gonna go a little bit backward, more in the past. I never wanted to have a child, and she wanted to have two children. that was a point that we never actually discussed what we're gonna do, and it's very important for the people to discuss and then be very clear, because not saying I don't love my child, but it's something that is I'm struggling too much to accept or to have the patience for it. Um, I felt somehow that my life changed, of course, but that I wasn't that young anymore. I feel like I just got like 20 years older, like in a snap. As soon as she came out of the womb, like, okay, everything's gone. You're just 40 years old mentally here. And it was, I don't know, I feel I had so much responsibility when I cannot even control myself, or when I still behaving like a child sometimes. Like, how am I going to take care of another life? Like, dude, I have to grow up. And being honest, Celine is the one who's struggling the most, or who's doing most of the job right now. Because I mean, I cannot breastfeed. I mean, and if I could, I wouldn't do it, because no, it's not normal that a dad breastfeeds. So for that point, I cannot feed a child. At the beginning, it was even worse because of the crying. It was something I couldn't hold. There are a few noises I just can't hold, in the crying, knowing that I don't know what she wants, because she doesn't speak German or English or Spanish. She speaks babish. She's basically just crying. Make me feel helpless, how to say, helpless, and it was very easy to feel powerless on in the part. Celine, I don't know how she got more patience for her, or maybe it's the mother instinct. I would like to believe that. We're speaking about how were the first months with Catalina here,
Mhm.
and no, I mean I'm still struggling. I think I'm trying to have more patience for her, but the problem, or not the problem, the situation is like this girl is very much unlike me, and I don't know if I like that, because um yeah, it's too much. She has too much energy. Wants to move around, explore everything. She started crawling like 3 weeks ago, or almost a month ago, and I don't know. I kind of feel myself guilty that she has later on problems with the nose, because I have problems with the nose, or problems with the back, or all these normal health things that each one of us have. I think, oh, I'm just passing through all the bad stuff. Why couldn't you be more like your mom? And I'm putting myself into that kind of pressure.
She was a good side, they know that, right?
Yeah,
So also basic knowledge.
yeah, I can.
So how was it for you, Celine? It just we were just talking about, as Bruno said, how you've experienced the past few months, because expecting a third person or welcoming a third person within your little family must have been, yeah, such a change. Bruno was just sharing that obviously there was the one or the other sleepless night, and that you don't feel like you're 100% ready to become a parent, because you're still figuring out things by yourself, and you still don't know what to do and where or how the future will look like. Basically, I hope that's okay if I rephrase it like this in my own words
Yeah,
right now, Bruno.
yeah.
But how were the past few months for you, Celine?
Yeah. First, I think no one will ever feel 100% ready to be a parent, because no one without kids before knows what to expect or how the baby will be. Um, in the beginning, I thought that our daughter is like a crying baby. She's crying too much. And in the process, I've learned, okay, I think she's an average baby. She's crying as much as every other baby is crying at that time. Um, I would say for women, it's a little bit easier because of the hormones from the pregnancy.
Okay.
Yes, there were sleepless nights, and it's still short nights, and but I think the hormones make it possible to deal with it. Like I'm on parental leave means I'm don't need to think about, okay, I need to go to work tomorrow. How should I survive the working day when I have slept maybe just 4 hours? Um, so the first weeks were overwhelming. like with a new situation, there's a life you need to be responsible for. It's not just like, okay, I just leave the room and the baby's sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a book or a car that you can just leave
Or
there,
Bruno
that you can
once
send
said,
back.
why can't you just sleep when she's tired? But babies need to learn how to sleep.
Yeah, that
And
was a shock.
like all these new things. I think we, and I don't know if other people are doing it, didn't know that before. That, of course, they need to learn all the things that are normal
It's so
for us.
crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you sleep? Because you're tired. Just fall asleep.
But I would also say with the time, we grow on all the situation. I mean, it's a baby. They are crying when they're hungry, when the diaper's full, or when they're tired. So more
When they're
things
bored.
and yeah, it's coming now, but more things are not possible. And after a while, at least I can understand. Okay, now she's crying because she's tired. Like last day was 1.5 hours ago. And, oh, now maybe it's time because she's hungry. She has a different cry than when she is tired. Yeah, it's a lot to get in, and a lot of things we still need to figure out, and a lot of things we still need to get to know. But I think it's more about the different age stages she will be coming in. I think I'm more a person for small babies. Bruno's more a person when she's older and when she's
When
walking.
when they can talk, tell you what they want. I mean, please, 100%.
Yeah.
From 3 to 18, I can
Yeah.
take care of them.
I think there's a difference between both of us. But I would also say with every month that she has now, every new thing she's learning, we are happy with it. We're trying to motivate her, and also kind of proud that she's crawling that early, even though she's just like 6 months, and it looks like she wants to stand up and walk
Yeah.
tomorrow, if it would be possible. And Bruno said she has too much energy. I would just say she has a lot of energy, not too much, because I would be judging. She has just a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's different. It's a change. It's a shift in life, definitely. Also, we as a couple need to find our way to be together, because the time that we spend alone as a couple is getting rare.
None. Zero.
Yeah,
I don't know you anymore. Who are you?
we had a baby that you just couldn't put her down. We need to carry her the whole day. She was sleeping mostly on me for the first 4 months, so I couldn't even move in the night. Now it's getting better. So yeah, we don't want to scare anyone. It's getting better.
No.
Yes, it
Run
is.
away. Save yourself.
But I also like it. I think I told Bruno a couple of weeks ago, like after the pregnancy and after giving birth, because the last stage was not that easy for me.
No.
I was in the hospital for 4 to 5 weeks before giving birth. But now, even though I had the birth like 6 months ago and everything, and problem or issues with my health, at the moment I feel so good. I feel much better than last year's without being pregnant. Maybe just because I don't need to think about work. I don't have a pressure from work, because I can start the day in a day I want to. I can be totally flexible with the day and decide whatever I want to do. Yeah, on some days it's a baby who is leading the day, and there's also like, okay, just give me a break for a moment. I don't want to carry you. It's now the time maybe to just sit down and relax a little bit. That's not possible, but for me, all in all, I feel good. I feel well with her, and yeah, the rest is like we need to figure out what's coming.
It's all a lie, guys. Please be careful.
For me.
No, I just love that you share your rare, honest experience, and that's the reason why I do the podcast, because we don't have to sugarcoat anything here. And honestly, or obviously, everyone's experience is different. Every human being is different. We are all just, different characters. And I love that your little one seems to have a very strong character and loves to explore. So I'm curious to see.
Oh. Yeah.
Céline, the little one. She loves to explore. No, but with this being said, I kind of want to slowly come to an end because it's late in Germany already. Again, you have a little one to keep an eye on. I am wondering, and you've shared that, Celine, already, or you kind of teased it in that direction. What's going to come next? How will
Tomorrow
your
we have
future look
Friday.
like tomorrow?
Breakfast, I don't know. By lunch, we have meat.
I think we both don't know. Try to figure out at the moment.
I'll put it this way. For example, from my end, like I told you, I'm still trying to get like a place to work because of a better job, yeah, professional life chances for me. I applied to be a sports teacher and a Spanish teacher here in Germany. Let's see if that works. If it doesn't work, I also applied to dual studies, which is basically working and studying at the same time in a company or in a gym, for example. I'm trying to do either fitness or economy from the fitness and management, or I'm trying to do internship somewhere else. So depending about where I get accepted is like where the next step for me is gonna be in that way, sort of say. Yeah. For Celine, I think so far, we want to move as well from the house because we're living here right now, like share with her parents, which has been a blessing. I'm not gonna say it hasn't been a blessing.
In the beginning, it wasn't in between.
Like in between finding out. I
Since
mean,
5 years.
which is fine because it's like they have their own apartment upstairs and we have our own space, so it's not like totally mixed. No, hell no, I couldn't do that. No, no, fuck no. But still, there's a point where I say, okay, you know what? I want our own space. Not that I want to buy a house right now, but still, I would like to move to get to know something different. Also, because of the job chances that I have seen in other places, I would love to go back to Kiel, for example. That's something that she knows. So I don't know, maybe doing the master, the bachelor here where we are, or in the nearby where I am in Kassel, and then moving to Kiel to do the master. That would be one of the options, for example. But besides that, I think so far you will stay in your job, or maybe change it if we find something that it says, okay, we can move here.
Yeah.
We're open, honestly, to that point, but
Yeah.
we don't know exactly where.
I'm still wishing to live abroad, somewhere else, another country. I think Bruno's not that open anymore to that option because every country I mention, there's something.
No. I say I wanted to go to Louisiana. I would love to go to Louisiana, but then we saw
a video about why 10,
Yeah.
10 reasons why you should move to Louisiana.
Mhm.
It's
Now I don't. Now I cannot go to Louisiana. But whatever.
So we see what I know. We never married now for 4 years, together since 6 years.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Let's
let's
count
see
here.
if we come in the next 4
Mhm.
years.
Yeah, we don't have a plan. Like we didn't have a plan at the beginning.
No.
Like
I think that's
no,
Boston.
no. Yeah, but like I said, tomorrow maybe fried eggs for breakfast. That's what I can tell you.
Fried eggs for breakfast sounds great. In my head is Friday tomorrow for some reason. I don't know why. I'm confused as well. But yeah, as you've, I mean, that's just the perfect example, and I think that's just a perfect ending to this podcast episode. That you know what's going to happen tomorrow, more or less. I mean, you don't know exactly, obviously, but you don't know exactly what's going to happen in 1 year. I mean, you do have a plan, a slight plan, and the experience has shown you that it does not make sense to plan ahead and to get too stubborn about specific things. And also all the moments where you have been in between and you did figure it out together as a couple, and knowing that there are other options if one option doesn't work out. I think that's just, yeah, gives you some ease. And especially if you know that you have done it a couple of times already. So, because in the end, you have to find a way, you have to work around it in order to make it work somehow. And yeah, thank you again for being so open minded, for sharing your love story, for giving us some insights into your crazy story. I'm very curious to see if the path goes on the way it did the past few years and where you will end up, if it's going to be Louisiana. Obviously, it's not, as far as I understand. Maybe it's going to be Mexico. Maybe it's going to be Argentina. So in case you should be here, you're more than welcome to visit, obviously. We have a spare bedroom. And
She's
yeah,
in
thanks
Argentina.
again.
You're in
Yeah, in
Argentina.
Buenos
Wow.
Aires, Argentina. Yeah, I'm learning Spanish right now, but that could go a little bit better, honestly, because I don't have to. Everyone is speaking English. But that's another story time for another time. Um, and yeah, again, thank you so much for being my guest today, for opening up, for taking your time, and hope to stay in contact with you again. We have a spare room, so in case you should ever be in Argentina, and talk to you
She's
soon.
Latina already.
Yeah.
She's Latina already. She invited you to her house. Yeah. Thank you very much. I
Mi
actually had
casa es tu
fun.
casa.
Yeah. You see? There we go. Meine Haus ist dein Haus. Keine Ahnung.
Mein
No,
Haus
thank
ist
you
dein
very much.
Haus, ja.
So I had fun. It was interesting to do this.
It was nice to recapitulate, to reflect how to get to know each other.
Makes me feel a little more blessed from the whole part that we have had, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes we can forget about the
You
beginning,
forget everything you
especially
went
with the
through.
baby.
Yeah.
And
So
sleep depression.
no, but yeah. Also, thank you for the opportunity as well.
Thank you so much for watching and for listening to today's podcast episode. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. And if you're listening, please rate podcast episode wherever you're listening to it. Also, you will find a link in the side note as well as in the description of the video. It's the first link. Check it out. If you are a woman, if you're dating someone from a different country, this might be especially interesting for you, because I do have a WhatsApp group. And within the WhatsApp group, we are 85 women. We are all dating someone from a different country, and we are supporting each other. What this group is about is that we have monthly calls, community calls, but in the background, I'm also working on providing the ladies with workshops. So we will have workshops on different topics such as closing the distance, communication, identity crisis, and much, much more. The best thing is it's all for free. So don't miss out. It's the opportunity to join right now. First link in the description as well as in the side note. And with this being said, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are right now. And please take care. Bye.